This is the Patriots Drive Podcast.
We are all Patriots.
Where we discuss, analyze, and answer questions to all things happening in the NFL and with our New England Patriots. Now, here's your host, Cole Kelly.
Let's go!
Welcome into another edition of the Patriots Drive Podcast. Today we're going to be going over the Patriots-Packers game. The Pats obviously lost to the Packers in a tight one in overtime with third-string quarterback Bailey Zappi. So we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on some of the goods, the bads from that game, update you on some injuries, and then hop right into the Patriots-Lions matchup. They got the Reds this week at home against the Detroit team that nobody can underestimate because they're scrappy. They might have an awful defense, but they're the best scoring offense in the NFL right now and the worst scoring defense. So it's going to be a shootout. We'll see how that goes with a Bailey Zappi possibly as quarterback. We'll give you the updates on Mac Jones and all that good stuff. So I'm here with my co-host, Jace Campbell. How's it going, Jace?
Yes, the red jerseys. Let's go. We've been waiting for them. The field looks sweet, too. You see the pictures of...
I sure did.
It's going to be Pat Patriot in the middle and then kind of an old school throwback in the end zone, Patriots and stuff. And then obviously the branding around the arena, but it'll be a fun game. A game that we both picked for New England to win. And right now, obviously with the Mac Jones injury, but with how Detroit's looked throughout the season, it'll be a tough game. And they're going to come in and they have the right mentality. They play the game the right way. They're going to be super scrappy, going to be super tough, hard-nosed. And no matter how much of a lead the Patriots have at any point in the game, I feel like that the Lions are always going to believe. They're always going to think that they have a chance to win this game. And they've shown that they can make, big-time explosive plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't play last week. Most likely he'll be back this week. And then, they got a couple other guys on defense. Aiden Hutchinson has been terrorizing the league only in his first 4 games. And Jeff Okudah, who was a former top 5 pick, has been playing a lot better football than what he did his first couple years. So this is a team that cannot be overlooked, especially when you're missing your starting quarterback. And it'll be fun. I'm really excited to watch this game, just like I am every Patriots game. I know we always say that, but I'm excited because it's kind of feeling like, almost a must-win situation. You don't want to fall to 1-4 right now.
Yeah, and I mean, this feels like a spot where if Mac was healthy, it'd be a great chance for this offense to get rolling against the Detroit team who gives up a lot of points. So we'll touch on the Lions plenty, but before we get into it, I just want to say, if you guys haven't already, if you guys are watching this live or if you guys are watching this afterwards, after the stream, make sure you go check out, I'm going to put the link in the comments, check out the video. Jace put a ton of time into it, breaking down Mac Jones film over the first 3 weeks. Hasn't done as great as we expected. So make sure you guys just go check that out because he put a lot of time into it. And it was a really great, insightful video. So go check that out. But,
and while you're at it, just like and subscribe. I mean, don't stop there. Like and subscribe on the video. Hang out with us whenever we do these lives and hang out with us and, be a part of the Patriots community that we're trying to build here where we can all come and talk Patriots football. And it's not just our show. It's your guys' show too. So we love to have you guys, join that. So, yep.
Absolutely. So let's hop right into it. The good, bad, the injured from the loss to the Packers. I'll let you start this one off with your first good.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one that played better than who I'm going to say, and I guarantee he's on your list, Jack Jones. I mean, We've heard about him all week, and you kind of obviously we would have had great things to say about him Sunday night, but you get a chance to go see what he did. PFF's grade for him, how well he's played. He had like the 4th highest grade of any rookie cornerback through a game since like 06, since PFF era started. Just a fantastic game by Jack Jones. And the impressive thing too is like he played, I believe, 72 of the 73 snaps. Like he was out there the whole game. Like he did not rotate. He was playing big time minutes and he was out there the whole time. And Romeo Doubs is going to be a good receiver in this league. Christian Watson will be a good receiver in this league. They're just young and experienced. And I look forward to more matchups between Jack Jones and that receiving core and a lot of other young receiving core. But that was a fun thing to watch Jack Jones go do his thing. I highlighted it. I did a film review on Jack Jones when we first drafted him. His off-man ability, his T-step, which is what he got the pick on, where he can just sit back at like 7-8 yards, wait, and then, make a break on the ball, even when he's in his back pedal coming out of it. It was great. Jack Jones was a stud, and that's what we needed. And we talked about this is who's going to replace J.C. Jackson. And Jonathan Jones has done a great job. Jack Jones is stepping up now. it's what this secondary needs. And this is why I feel like Bill Belichick is like way better at drafting in the later rounds than he is in the early rounds. So Jack Jones, great pick so far in the 4th round. And I love seeing him do his thing on Sundays.
Yeah, he absolutely balled out. What's up, Light Shadows? How's it going, Cody? I'm very excited about the cornerback room long term. I agree. One of the other guys, I was going to save this for a little bit later, but my guy who I had on the good list is another corner that a lot of people have been excited about, but it wasn't for his ability as a cornerback. It was his ability in the return game. And Marcus Jones, we've all been clamoring to see him back there instead of Miles Bryant. And he was awesome. I mean, he made a play that should have been the game-winning play for us in overtime, bringing us to the 50-yard line. We couldn't get 10 yards to get into field goal range for Nick Folk. Tough. But he did great. I thought he looked awesome. When he was returning the ball on kickoffs and on punt return, he was creating way more yards than we would expect from a guy in his first career game at punt returner in the NFL. He talked about in the offseason how it wasn't necessarily just the gunners and all the people around him being faster in the NFL. The difference was how fast the ball would drop down to you. It's almost like gravity is stronger on an NFL field, but it's just the way they kick the ball and the power and how high it gets. So I'm a big fan of him. I think that definitely adds an exciting element to this team, to special teams. We don't have to worry about Miles Bryant dropping it every time out there. So that was really exciting to watch. That was a good development. Seeing the rookies both have great games, that was definitely a step in the right direction. And Cody here says, Cole, at some point you have to give me 5 things you want the Sox to do this offseason. Sad it's over. I just want to touch on this real quick before we dive into the Patriot stuff.
Boo!
Hey, all right, calm down. Jeez.
Boo!
I'm sad it's over. Dennis Eckersley calling his last game. Super emotional. It was sad. Also kind of good to reflect on the memories. He was a great announcer for us for so long. It's the booth is not going to be the same with Remy being gone and passing this past year, and then Eck leaving as well. It's tough. And then Xander, standing
future
ovation.
Cub, future Chicago.
All
Cub,
right, get out of here. All right, calm down. Jeez, Xander getting a standing ovation as he walks off the field. That better not be the last time he does, or I'm going to be very upset. So I'll definitely, we'll have to at some point this offseason do a little Boston sports time at some point and talk about maybe the Red Sox and get into all that stuff. But I appreciate Cody's always bringing up Red Sox stuff. I like it. I like switching things up once in a while. I'm a huge Boston sports fan in general. So not just Patriots, Red Sox, Celtics, less so the Bruins. I don't follow them as much, but just wanted to get the Sox minute in. They deserve it. It's the last game of the year was today. So we'll move on from that. But yeah, so Marcus Jones, Jack Jones, both great games against the Packers this week.
Yeah, and a couple things in the cornerback room. Light Shadow says it right here, like the strip, and I talked about this too in my film review, but he just has great ball skills, going up and making plays while the ball's in the air. And then you also saw it in college. He had a knack for causing fumbles. And Bill Belichick teaches that. He loves his corners to have that. You always see safeties or corners in New England get the Peanut Tillman punch where they put their hand right on the ball and can force a fumble. And Jack Jones goes in, great aggressiveness. He ends up stripping it out, gets the fumble recovery, then comes back with the huge pick six. And was great. But, going back onto the Marcus Jones point, he almost averaged 28 yards per return, 4 returns for 111 yards, 37 yards was his longest. And when he got drafted, me and you both sat down and made a video about how is Marcus Jones going to help the team right off the bat. And we both said it's going to be special teams. And we're seeing it already. And that is a huge development. Now, he should be playing over Miles Bryant because of the way Miles Bryant has played the first 4 weeks at cornerback, not just at kick returner. And then, Cody asked a good question right here. Why do you guys think that Miles Bryant is playing over Shaun Wade or Marcus Jones? Is it matchup, scheme, etc.? I also saw someone on Twitter suggest move Mills to the slot where he's played the best since 2020. So it's an interesting thing. I don't know why Miles Bryant is still getting as many reps as he can. Now, he's one of the more experienced guys in this room, but there's no way that Bill can see a future in that guy. So if you're 1-3 right now as the Patriots, and if you fall to 1-4 this week, why not get the Shaun Wades, the Marcus Jones, guys like that going? Because they're going to be the future of this secondary. So I agree. You've seen great things from Jack Jones already. I'm sold on him. Maybe Marcus Jones just isn't ready to play cornerback, but the way that he's contributing on special teams, like you mentioned, huge good for the Patriots. And you hope that he continues to do that. And I think he probably won a permanent spot right there with his ability. The first time he took a punt back, I was like, who the heck is this guy? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Marcus Jones. So that was exciting. It was really exciting to finally see him out there as a punt returner.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see the rookie start to get involved. I feel like he deserves his opportunity, and it took some time. Took Miles Bryant screwing up a couple times, so um, it's good to see these guys getting involved. Feels like a lot of these guys in the draft have been contributing. So um, hopefully they can continue to progress, and hopefully, like Light Shadow said, Thornton, he's eligible to return off IR. He practiced today. He has a 21-day window to be activated. I think people don't think he's going to play this week, but coming soon, Tall-Reek to a stadium near you. So we'll see how that goes. Cody, I agree. It felt like Xander. It felt like it was a goodbye, and I didn't like that. So hopefully that's not the end there. But yeah, yep. So Tall-Reek, Taekwon, I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to continue to see these rookies develop, and there's another rookie that's going to be on my good list coming up. But
yeah, hopefully. So, Henderson, thanks for subscribing. Glad you found us. Hope to see you more often. And then feel free to comment any questions you got. We'll make sure to try to get to that at some point in the show when we can. But no, Taekwon Thornton. You keep calling him Tall-Reek. I keep thinking Tyreek.
I know. I say I'm getting screwed up too.
Taekwon Thornton, and they talked about like he's been locked in the 4 weeks that he's been out. Like he's eligible to come off IR. And we both first said this when he got hurt. We don't expect him to come off immediately. Like I expect him to come back, maybe even not next week either. Like get him to start practicing. He's got to get his football legs back under him. He's got to get back integrated into the offense. So I think it would be super exciting. And this is obviously depending on Mac Jones's health. He's pushing to play this week, but I still would be surprised if he does. If there's a return for both of them on the same week, you're thinking maybe week 6, week 7, maybe Mac Jones comes back 6, and then Taekwon gets back week 7. That's going to make your offense a whole lot better than what it is. Now, Mac Jones has played the first 3 weeks, and we still haven't had tremendous success pushing the ball down the field, but just getting Taekwon Thornton, the 4.29 runner of the 40-yard dash in the combine, and a guy that showed legitimate flashes in the preseason is going to give you a new dimension to your offense. So I'm excited to see him. I hope it's sooner rather than later, and that all the reports that we're seeing are true, where he's progressing to play soon, and we can see him out there. But yeah, Tyreek Hill Thornton is his name. You're right. Tall-Reek Hill Thornton. That's what we call him.
It's so hard. It shouldn't be a tongue twister, but it is.
It is, bro.
Red Patriot 99. Great name for this week coming up. This is my first time seeing the alternate red jerseys. How excited are you guys? I'm thrilled. I would go run in my closet. I got about 3 of those red jerseys in there. I'm super excited, and I'm a little upset that Mac isn't going to be the one probably wearing them back there starting, but I'm thrilled. I hope next year they bring them back more than just for 2 games. Those white helmets, they were wearing them at practice today with the logos on them, the throwbacks. They are so clean. I wish that was our main uniform because they are beautiful. So, excuse me, I'm thrilled. I can't wait to see those back. So let's keep getting into our goods and bads and all that stuff. Did you have another one that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, sorry. So my other good one, I thought Jake Bailey, he punted a ton, but he had a long of 62, 2 of them inside the 20, 2 of them touchbacks, but an average of 45 yards per punt. That's really good. Like 45 isn't outstanding. If he was up around 49-50, that's outstanding. But 44 is good, especially when you're punting as much as New England did. And they were in a couple backed up situations where they had to flip the field position, and Jake Bailey hit a couple bombs. So it's not exciting, but I thought Jake Bailey, continues to do a great job flipping the field position for the offense when they can't get things rolling. And then that makes it easier on the defense. And hopefully the defense can stop him and get the field position back in favor of the offense. But he was doing a great job. The 62-yard punt he hit, just when he hits him, dude. He's got a leg. And I don't think the Patriots fans ever questioned his leg in the offseason when we were saying, oh, maybe he's not going to get re-signed by the Patriots. Maybe this is last year. Maybe we go get the dude that we cannot say his name on this show because of what he did from a certain college on the West Coast. And then they re-signed Jake Bailey, and now you're starting to see why, because he's got a boot, and that's a big time weapon for your special teams unit.
Yeah, and he definitely does have a leg. There's no question there. This is probably one of the first ones that we've disagreed on. I didn't put Bailey on my bad list, but he was close. And just the fact that yes, he's bombing the ball, but the touchbacks, it feels like they're far too often. It feels like he's not pinning him inside the 10, inside the 15 as much as he was last year. He shanked that one that was a killer, and it
Yes.
could have been really bad. I did they score a touchdown off that?
I think they did.
I think they did, but I can't fully remember. But just like stuff like that, that's not what we're used to seeing Jake Bailey. Like his all pro year, he was pinning him inside the 10, inside the 5 even. He was lethal. He was literally a weapon that year when we had Cam Newton and we were awful. Like people were literally saying, get the ball to Jake Bailey because he's our best chance of flipping field position and doing his thing. So I think he's done a good job kicking the ball far, but his accuracy, his placement, and that one shank really was a killer in a tight game like this.
The other thing that's frustrating about that is I think Brandon Schooler had a chance to down one of the punts. It bounced at about the 5 and then took a super, aggressive hop into the end zone. I thought Schooler maybe gave up a little bit and stopped running. Now that's tough, and I'm not saying that that's on Schooler, but I thought there was a chance that Schooler could have gotten to that one. And when how we teach our guys is once they make a fair catch, the long snapper squares up the returner. Now, obviously, once he makes a fair catch, you can't do it. And then the two gunners go behind him, look for the ball, and they look to catch it because most of the time, if a punt returner's inside the 10, he's just trying to draw eyes to him and then hope the ball bounces into the end zone. So I would have liked to have seen Schooler do a better job at finding the ball and maybe catching it. And then, where he catches it is where it's down. That could have been inside the 10. But the other thing, too, is I thought Schooler, and I hear some people saying it was the right call. I thought he got absolutely screwed on his tackle.
Horse collar, he made such a good
horse
play.
Collar rule. I get what people are saying. Like he grabbed him from the back, but the horse collar rule is not grabbing him from the back. It's the opening. It's the opening. You have to grab the opening of the shoulder pad. So I thought that was an absolute crap call. Yes. And that affects Jake Bailey's net punt. So, maybe that he would have been at 330 because it's a 15-yard penalty. But I thought that was an absolute crap call on on Brandon Schooler, and it affects Jake Bailey in the stats. But I thought that was horse crap on that call. It was crazy.
I did as well. I messaged him about it after the game. I told him that he got screwed over a little bit by that because that was a great play.
Yes.
Like really, really great open field tackle against a shifty guy back there. I think it was Amari Rogers, right? So
yes, it was.
Yeah.
He's the only one that returns for him.
Yeah. So Schooler, yeah, like you said, he had a chance there, but I don't know. That other play was baloney, but I don't know. Maybe my expectations are too high for Bailey. He had such a good year and he's had 2 down years. I don't think he's been bad overall this year, but he's not as good as I expected him to be, especially we gave him the contract, we invested in him, and he hasn't produced at the level I expected. So next guy I had on my good list, and we'll kind of start to speed this up because we're already 20 minutes in. We haven't even started getting to the bad or anything like that. Cole Strange, I think he has held up great. He's been really impressive to me. He had some really great one-on-one reps against some of those interior menaces for the Packers, and some of the guys ran some pretty good stunts, and he did a great job communicating with the O-line and passing people off. And he's been great. He's been way better than I expected. If he continues to progress like this and do his thing in the run game as well, when he pulls, he does a great job getting to the second level. That athleticism is on full display. He's been awesome. So he's definitely been a shining point for this team. Like you said, or like I said earlier, this is the rookie that was added to my list as well of the other guys there. So Cole Strange starting to look like a first round guard. If he continues to go like this and just keep going, trending upwards, I'm going to be happy about where he ends up.
Yeah. And it was never a question about Cole Strange, the player, for me. And I probably sound like a broken record for those of you guys that follow us through the draft process and, watch the live stream. It's never a question about Cole Strange, the player. It was about Cole Strange, where he got drafted at. And he can't control that. Like, he can't control that he got taken 29th overall by the Patriots. Now, we'll see if he continues to play great football. Then he'll be worth every penny, because honestly, when you look at that, the main thing that New England was trying to do, in my opinion, is protect Mac Jones. And if you can protect Mac Jones, that's the key to the offense. You don't want to have him hurt like he is right now. that's a huge investment. So Cole Strange has been incredible throughout the first 4 weeks, and we've seen him go up against some pretty dang good tackles. Kenny Clark's no joke; he's a great tackle. He showed his athleticism in the run game. So he's been impressive. But I'm going to bring up this question and we'll transition into the bad unless you have any more good. Do you have any more good?
I thought Trent Brown was good. I thought he had a good day. And then KB did solid. And nothing that really stood out. I would throw Trent Brown on that as one more good. And then Judon had some nice plays as well.
Yeah, Judon had our only sack, so that was good.
That's kind of what we just have come to expect from him. Jonathan Jones was great, and he had a couple plays that were tough. One, he let up that back shoulder to Romeo Doubs in the end zone, but he continues to be really solid throughout the game. I wouldn't necessarily put him on the good for sure, just because of the couple bad plays given up, but he's been really impressive. And there's probably a conversation maybe after this next game, because we won't have time tonight, that we can have about Jonathan Jones and our cornerback situation in general.
For sure. Well, let's transition into the bad then. Bryant wants to talk about play calling right here. He said we might be the worst 3rd down, 4th down, 2-point conversion play calling team in the league. Anyone disagree? If you guys have any feelings in the comments, make sure you drop down below. But Cole, what have been your thoughts? Obviously, not a lot of people have been super high on Matt Patricia. And I think that there's a reason for that, but I would say that it has gotten progressively better. And I don't know if it's like it's going like 70 degrees up a hill. It's probably going at like 10%. Like it's slowly getting better. And Dan Campbell said it today in his interview. He said that, you see them, they're not really just calling plays. They're calling plays for players. And I agree with that. I've heard the thing said before by offensive coordinators, like, don't call plays, call player. Or sorry, don't make play calls, make players call. So you call a play to get the ball to a player. And I thought you saw that with the Kendrick Bourne fly sweep. I think you've seen that trying to get the ball to Jonnu Smith, Devontae Parker. So I think you've seen a little bit more of a game plan, I'd say, than the first 2 weeks. But what are your thoughts on play calling so far?
I think this past week was the best we've seen so far. I don't know why we can't call plays like that. If Mac was in that game, we win that game. Yes. I think that's a fact. And the fact that we haven't called plays like that baffles me. Some of the stuff in general, I don't know. It's hard to complain too much about this past game. I thought there were some situations where it's like, okay, like I get it. You don't want to put too much on the rookie's shoulder. He's not expected to play this game, but geez, if we run the ball every play, they're going to eventually stop it. And it turned into some long yardage situations on 3rd down and 2nd down and stuff like that, where they kind of knew it was coming and they stopped it. And then it puts a lot of pressure on the rookie in general afterwards. So play calling, I'm going to need to see more of this to start to feel good about it. But this past week was definitely one of the better weeks so far that we've seen.
And I think this week was a little skewed too. Like you saw a very conservative offense because of Bailey Zappi. And now that he's preparing to be the starter and he has a week of practice and a 4.5 or 3.5 quarters of NFL experience now, then I think you're going to see them open it up more. But I get this right here, 3rd and 5, they're sitting. Sorry, I'm trying to pull the exact play up where I have it. So I can, it's 3rd and 5 at your own 9, I think is the one you're talking about late in the game. I mean, you're at that point, there's a minute 40 left. Let's see, when the play happened, there was a 101. If this is a play you're talking about, at that point, you're playing for overtime because you probably don't have a ton of plays in your playbook that Bailey Zappi can make that will take you from your own 9-yard line, so 91 yards, to score or even get you in field goal position to win the game. So you saw sometimes New England, this game was just like, hey, we're almost playing not to lose. And the way the defense was playing, they were a lot more conservative because they're like, hey, our defense will get out. And I really felt that way. There's some games where I'm super nervous about the Patriots defense, but they find a way. But this game, I was like, they're locked in. Like I trust this team. I trust that they're going to be able to stop Aaron Rodgers and, he won't have time to go down the field. So I think that you saw a little bit more conservative play calling from him because of Bailey Zappi. But like you said, like from week 1 to week 3 with Mac, you've seen New England start to have more of a game plan and start to look more like an offense that knows what they're trying to do and at least is sticking to a script. And, you just hope that it continues to be like that.
Yeah, it's we'll continue to monitor just the play calls in general in certain situations. There's stuff that frustrates me. There's stuff that doesn't make sense, but it's kind of like you just mentioned. It was certainly a different game plan than what we'd see from Mac usually. So we'll see how that continues to go. But let's get into the bad. We'll rip through this real quick. Isaiah Wynn, obvious bad. He's been absolutely horrible. Marcus Cannon replaced him during the game. He might not get a spot back. I would be surprised if Isaiah Wynn starts more than the next game or two before getting replaced, because he has been horrendous, and he's basically escorting the defensive lineman to the quarterback. He got Hoyer hurt. He almost got Zappy hurt. He's caused fumbles. He's been awful. He has been awful, and the fact that he's being paid $10 million is highway robbery right now on this team, and it's killing us.
Yeah, it's something we talked about all offseason is how is there a spot that he's on this team for the cap hit that he's going to be at? And, we're like, you just hope that he plays somewhat competent, and he finally got benched and he deserves it. And, Marcus Cannon's been in the Patriots system a long time, and he was in Houston, and then I think we just re-signed him to the P squad, and then now he's, on the active roster, and now he's probably starting. But, Isaiah Wynn just hasn't cut it. And I haven't been a big time Isaiah Wynn guy, but I've been a guy that said, hey, like, he's a competent tackle. Like if he's healthy, he can play and he can be just fine. And man, I'm eating my words on that. Like, he has been horrible this year. He was horrible towards the end of last year. At this point, I've just given up on him. I thought that maybe there was a way that he turns a corner, moving to right tackle, and it has been bad. So after this year, Bryant asked, when does his contract end? This is his fit. We had him for a 5th-year option, so this is his 5th year. So he'll most likely, be off the team this year. And then this brings up the question, like, is Marcus Cannon really your future tackle, or are you going to take another first-round pick and, take, depending on how high you are going to take one of the guys that are, going to be up there? Peter Skoronski from Northwestern, Paris Johnson from Ohio State. Like, there's going to be a lot of tackles, but now you have a problem, like Mike says right here, where you don't have a go-to man down the field. And maybe Tyquan Thornton's that. Maybe that is him. But as of right now, you don't have a legit down the field option, and there's not many receivers in the free agency class. So are you going to give Mac Jones an option to throw it down the field? Or are you going to take another offensive line pick with your first round pick? Or do you go defense? Because you could honestly use some youth at the linebacker position still. New England just signed Jamie Collins again for the 58th time in his career. I mean, that's something that we haven't talked about yet, but we'll bring up. But I mean, you're still playing with a pretty old linebacker crew, and still outside of, Mac Wilson, there's not a ton of guys that can play sideline to sideline consistently well, like, the top linebackers in the league. So, taking Isaiah Wynn out as a starting tackle brings a lot of questions, and, it kind of changes your trajectory with the offseason plan, because you need a starting right tackle that can protect Mac Jones.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. It just making sure he's healthy. Trent Brown, we don't know what the future is going to hold there. I know he's under contract, but the tackle situation is always huge, especially for a pocket quarterback and a guy like Mac Jones. You got to keep him healthy. You got to keep him upright, give him time to process and do his thing and pick apart the defense. So, Isaiah Wynn struggled. Is there somebody else that you wanted to mention along with him?
We talked about Miles Bryant. He's just been bad, dude. Like, defensively, just letting dudes run wide open. And I haven't watched a ton of film on him. I'm so busy watching film for our opponents that we play. So last week was a bye week, so I had, time to catch up. But I feel like every time there's a dude running wide open, it's Miles Bryant's guy. And I don't know if it's, bad technique, if it's bad eyes in the backfield, if he just, is that slow and cannot run with receivers. I don't know. I'd have to watch more on that, but he has been very underwhelming. And that's why it leads us to say, why don't we get Sean Wade or Marcus Jones some of these slot cornerback snaps? Or, I mean, I'm not against moving Jalen Mills inside. I'd preferably leave him outside, because I think him and
this is what I was going to mention.
Jonathan Jones are good. But if Jack Jones keeps coming along and you put Jonathan Jones, Jack Jones on the outside, and Jalen Mills in the corner. That's a little longer, lengthier corner on slot receivers. So
this was kind of something that I was going to mention was I've heard brought up a little bit. Jonathan Jones is one of the best slot corners in the game. He's been one of the best outside corners in the game. If you have confidence in Jack Jones and Jalen Mills, do you move them, keep them outside, give Jack Jones a bigger role, kick Miles Bryant to the curb, and put Jonathan Jones back inside? Like, how do you maneuver that? That's a conversation that I think is worth having at some point. But Miles Bryant was on this team because of his football IQ. He knows the system pretty well, and he knows where he's supposed to be and when he's supposed to be there. But he doesn't have the physical attributes, and he was on this team because of his abilities on special teams. He looked good as a punt returner in the offseason, in the preseason. He hasn't held up. His spot is taken. He's been replaced. Now what? He's not doing good as a corner. He's a liability on defense. I don't know what he has as a role on this team, honestly. It's tough. I don't see much of a future here for him. So Miles Bryant was going to be my other one that was a standout for sure. He struggled. And then Jack Jones, he's on the good list. The only thing I will say about him, his tackling, I love the aggressive plays. His tackling is a little suspect sometimes. He misses some tackles going for punching the ball out, stuff like that. But sometimes you just got to know, hey, I got to bring the guy down in front of the sticks and take what they're giving me. So that, I guess I'd say Jack Jones tackling maybe could be bad, but overall our linebackers outside of that is the only other bad that I had, just running the ball and our second half defense. I mean, our first half defense, we shut down Aaron Rodgers, and then after that, he kind of did what he wanted to. So that's kind of the last I got on that game.
Yeah, mine's you hit on it kind of with the linebackers, the rushing defense. And I think you saw Lawrence Guy is a tremendous defensive tackle in general, but he makes it a lot easier for guys like Devon Gottschalk, Christian Barmore, Dietrich Wise to, spell them. And they're not playing as many snaps as they did in Green Bay. So you allow almost 200 yards of rushing to them. Aaron Jones goes for 110. A.J. Dillon goes for 73. And then Christian Watson has their only rushing touchdown on the fly sweep. But I think that they wore down this defense because of their ability to just continually run it. And I think that missing Lawrence Guy, the defense was getting more worn out than we have seen in the cup. And that's why the second half defense was so bad, is they had probably taken 20 more snaps than what they are used to at that point. And those dudes are big guys, and they need, their breathers to be fully fresh. So I think the absence of Lawrence Guy, like we talked about in the pregame show, was something that you definitely saw was hurting you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what Godchild, you have him here for us to do that as well in the interior. So let's get into the injured. We're already 35 minutes in. We haven't even started touching on the other game. So we'll kind of, I know we're trying to go through quick, but the injured, Jonnu Smith, low ankle sprain, expected to be week to week. We'll see if he plays. I'm going to assume he misses a week or two. We didn't practice today, so not a great sign, but it's better than a high ankle sprain. Didn't look great. Maybe Matt Sokol will get called up, something like that. Marcus Cannon signed to the active roster. Jamie Collins was signed to the practice squad, adding some linebacker depth and some veteran presence there. But outside of that, Jalen Mills didn't play, so maybe he'll be back this week. Any other big injuries that you know of?
I mean, the Brian Hoyer one, obviously, about that one.
Yeah,
he only attempts 6 passes, goes out with a head injury, and he's already ruled out. Well, have they officially ruled him out? He wasn't at practice today. I know that.
He's not going to. Yeah, he's not going to.
Yeah,
play.
so he's
not ruled out, but he's not going to play.
So that will be, I'm excited to see what Zappy can do with a week under his belt. I didn't throw him in the good, but I didn't think he did not lose us the game. He definitely didn't do anything to win us the game either, but if he throws that ball a little bit more out in front of Nelson Aguilar, he probably scores on that one. He has a touchdown pass to Devontae Parker. So he did enough for the Patriots to win this game. I don't think that's going to be the case in most of the games he plays. It was just the way our defense was playing, but he had a chance to come in and win this game for us. He completed 10 of 15 passes for 99 yards, a touchdown, got sacked 3 times. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I don't expect much out of him, but I think that it's exciting to, see a rookie come in and, maybe he surprises us all and someone is desperate and wants him. I don't think that'll be the case, but if anything, that you have a competent backup if an injury does happen again to Mac Jones. So
yeah, absolutely. Let's hop into the Lions game now. Lions just lost in a shootout to the Seattle Seahawks, like 48-45, something like that. They have been scoring a lot of points. even without Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift, they have a laundry list of injuries. DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown, um, DeAndre Swift. I think they have maybe one of their corners is hurt. Let me pull up the list real quick. It was a ton of guys. So okay. Yeah, TJ Chark, Josh Reynolds, TJ Hawkinson didn't participate. Is it Ragnow?
Yeah, the center.
Yeah, their center, defensive tackle, linebacker. They have a whole slew of injuries. For us, Hoyer, Jonnu, DeMarcus Mitchell, Lawrence Guy didn't practice. Mac Jones was limited. He was limping around pretty good. He just shouldn't play. I don't know. I love Mac. I love his toughness, but just get healthy. I don't want him to compromise his long-term health. This team, if DeAndre Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown and all those guys end up playing, DeAndre Swift is a menace. The Detroit Lions have one of the best offensive lines in football. They've been dominating in the trenches. It's going to be a challenge to stop the run. It's going to be a challenge to get to Jared Goff. Jared Goff has been playing well. Out of him and Carson Wentz, I know, and a couple of those other guys, he's been playing better so far for some of the guys on new teams. I know Goff was there last year, but a lot of people compare the two of them. The Lions look better, have been better than we thought they'd be. And we talked about it before the season. They're a scrappy team. Like you mentioned, Okudah, he's really good. I know Hutchinson had a great first week. I know he's been a little bit cooled down, but they're going to look to get him going, especially if he's going up against Isaiah Wynn. Like, okay, that's not great. So it's going to be a fun matchup. I think it's a great opportunity for this defense to try to stop the run, to try to lock down an offense that's been scoring a lot. I think it's a great opportunity for our offense to try to get rolling, especially if Mac's in there, which I don't think he will be. And if he's not, then Bailey Zappi, it's a good soft landing spot for him to make his first NFL start. And he's going to be in the red jersey, so that has to factor in, of course.
Yes, we need a fire game from him for this. This is my buddy. He's a USC fan. He says it would have been great if you drafted Drake London. He's killing it. He's a big time USC fan. So we'll just disregard that.
It's too bad he was gone 300 picks before he picked.
I texted him and told him no USC bias on here. So, but no, I mean, this is a very improved team, and the Lions they're going to come in, and I mean, they should have beat Seattle, and they lost in a shootout, and this offense is putting up tons of points, and they actually lead the league in yards per play at 6.5. So that just tells you how explosive they are. Like, they get the ball down the field, whether it's with DeAndre Swift in the run game, whether it's with Amon-Ra St. Brown, TJ Hawkinson went off at the tight end position. So there's a lot of guys on this team, and Amon-Ra St. Brown's emerging as probably a tier 1 wide receiver, but they have a lot of receivers on this team too. And, you know, I still think Jared Goff is Jared Goff. But he has they did a good job at putting a lot of weapons around him. And that's not even Jamison Williams isn't even healthy right now. And they're going to get him back, and he's going to be with DJ Chark. And, I mean, obviously they won't be back. He won't be back for this game, so it's not too much of a question. But this Lions team is building the right way, in my opinion, and their defense looks good. Dan Campbell has the right mentality for him, and they got young dudes all over the field that are hungry and, you know, trying to make a name for themselves and trying to get the Lions back in a winning culture, and it's paying off for them so far.
One game for a Super Bowl. Who you going with? Bill Belichick or Dan Campbell?
Bill Belichick.
I'm just kidding.
Wait. What's the goal? Is the goal to win the game, or is the goal to bite their knees off?
No. The goal is whichever team has the least amount of kneecaps at the end of the game is the.
Then Dan Campbell, 100%.
Okay.
Dan Campbell.
Okay, good. That's where I was going with that. All right, it's perfect. No, I agree with you. I think they're building the right way. The Lions have kind of been a poverty franchise, it seems like, for a while, and it looks like they're starting to build their way back. If they can get a true quarterback, they have a great O-line, great running back. Their defense has some really great pieces to build around. They still obviously are letting up a lot of points, so they need to work on that factor, but their offense is really getting their stuff together. And if they can get a consistent, good quarterback, a young guy to develop in this system, I think the Lions could be trending upwards quite fast, kind of like the Jaguars you're seeing now doing their thing. So I like the Lions. I think they're going in the right direction, like you just kind of mentioned. And I think there's big things ahead for them in the future as far as what we've seen from them recently. I think they're definitely going to be better than that soon.
And this will be a huge game for our secondary because they're only allowing 1.3 sacks per game. There's only one quarterback that's been sacked less than Jared Goff, and that's Justin Herbert. So this is going to be a huge game for our secondary to hold up. I don't expect a ton of pressure. Now, I think Matt Judon can get a sack. I think that we can get pressure on him, but you're going to have to hold up on the back end in your coverage, and it's going to be hard if DeAndre Swift is good to go. It's going to be a tough assignment for our linebackers to guard him. Jack Jones guarding Amon-Ra St. Brown, although he had a great week. Whoever it is, Jonathan Jones, like those guys, and I told you this, as much as I hate to give credit to offensive teams and the offense, but the game is made for offenses right now. And it is, no matter how good of a quarterback or cornerback you are, it is hard to guard a receiver and to play clean coverage and not get a flag and to consistently win one-on-one. Now, it can happen, but it's a lot harder nowadays than even it was 5 years ago with all the rules that are out. So this is an explosive offense. They're going to try to push the ball down the field. And obviously the injuries will be a big part, but the thing that's really saving Jared Goff is he has a ton of time back there in the pocket, and he doesn't have to make quick decisions, and he doesn't have to force throws and make, mistakes. So that's going to be a big key too. Our coverage holding up on the back end, but can we get pressure on this really, really good offensive line of Detroit and, maybe force Jared Goff into some of those mistakes we saw while he was in LA?
Yeah, you can certainly, if you can get to him, he's going to mess up here and there. So that's going to be a huge key to this game. Bum coaches with enough talent still make the Lions team interesting. Can we please just try and out-talent everybody? Yeah, that'd be nice, but that doesn't seem to be Belichick's MO. He likes to under-talent everybody and prove that he can win with players that aren't.
Let me ask you this. Do you think there's more talent on the Patriots roster right now or the Lions roster? I don't know if I can say it's either, because I think you look at position, you say, well, if Mac Jones is playing, I'm taking Mac Jones all day over Jared Goff. With DeAndre Swift, and I love our two running backs, but DeAndre Swift, when he's healthy, he's a dude. Pass and run game.
DeAndre Swift is better than any of our running backs.
And you mean Amon-Ra St. Brown?
He's better than any of our wide receivers.
Yes. I mean,
T.J. Hawkinson's better than any of our tight ends.
So, and Penei Sewell, like he's
Penei Sewell's better than any of our tackles.
So you look and you say
Okuda's better than any of I maybe Jonathan Jones. I'll put him up there.
It's just tough. It's like even the teams that we used to laugh about have probably more talent than the Patriots do right now, and we really are relying on great coaching, and it's scary. You can't win AFC East titles that way and expect to make the playoffs. You got to get more talent on this team at every position.
I would say Patriots all around. Maybe you could argue are better as a whole, just as average talent. But if you're asking top end talent, I think the Detroit Lions have more top end talent than New England Patriots.
It's probably true. It sucks to say, but yeah. Quick question here. Even though we're 1-3 again, there's still time to make it turn around like last year. Yeah, we were 2-6. We were 2-4. So there's
a great opportunity here. A really soft stretch. We'll see if Matt can get back in here soon. But we got Detroit, Cleveland, the Bears, and then I don't know after that. I know there's some cakewalks in there supposedly as well. So
do I have it right here? Yeah. So we have Detroit, Cleveland, the Bears, then the Jets, then the Colts, then bye. Like those next 5 games are all super winnable, and they're going to be tough. But no Deshaun Watson for the Browns. The Bears, hopefully on Monday Night Football, you can win that. The Jets are the Jets, and then the Colts have not looked like they're. So there's a 5-game stretch right here that you can easily get back on track if you're the Patriots. And you could, ideally you'd want to win all 5 of those and be sitting at 6-3. I don't know how realistic that is, but even if you can be sitting at 5-4, that's probably a win coming out of these next 5 games.
Yeah. Yep. So I agree with you. I think it's a good opportunity here. So let's, you want to get into the read and then we can hop into these lines?
Yeah, let's do it. So for those of you guys that don't know, we have struck a sponsorship with Underdog Fantasy. You guys can head over to underdogfantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app. You can get your first deposit up to $100 matched by Underdog Fantasy when you use our code PATSDRIVE. That is either on the screen right now or down in the link below. If you click on that right now, it'll take you right to it and you can do it. Now, how we use this, we haven't done it the last 2 weeks because of the Mac Jones injury, and they don't even have lines up this week because of DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown all injured. But you can choose over-unders for certain teams, certain players, and what they do is they duplicate your money. So say you put in a $20 bet and you have a 5-leg parlay, then you can win up to $200. I think Cole won he put in $10 and won $60 like 2 weeks ago. So you can do this on any sport, not just football. The other thing we want to start trying with you guys, if you're interested, and you guys can let us know in the comments how interested you'd be. They do weekly fantasy. So if you guys wanted to enter in like a $5 fantasy draft with us, draft your team and winner take all, whatever team scores the most points, winner take all. Say it's a $5 league, we get 5 of us, winner takes home the $25 or however we can set that all up however you guys want. But if you're interested in that, download the Underdog Fantasy app and use our code. It helps support us, and we really appreciate any of that. So but let's get into our game picks right now for this week.
First one we got Pats Lions. Patriots are favored -3, even with the uncertainty at quarterback. I'm going to say Patriots at home. Patriots wearing the red throwbacks. I got the Patriots winning and covering, even with Bailey Zappi, even if Jacoby Myers has to fill in at quarterback. I'm taking the Patriots, going confidence all the way on this one. You can't lose in the Reds. You just can't. It's like the Red Sox with their City Connect uniforms, the yellow ones. They can't lose in those. Patriots can't lose in these red ones. These are even more iconic.
Well, I hope that that's the truth, but I agree with you. We both had New England 1-3 coming into this game in our preseason records. We both had them winning this. Now, obviously, the Mac Jones injury makes it a little harder, but I agree with you. This is tough. And the Amon-Ra St. Brown, if he's out, if DeAndre Swift is out, there's injuries on that side that will make this game easier. But I think Bill will have this team ready. I think that they, sense that if they can take this one and get Mac Jones back next week, and then you're in Cleveland and you're playing a team that is missing their star quarterback, you're probably saying, hey, there's still hope to turn this thing around. So I think that Bill will have this team ready. I think Bailey Zappi will play, good enough for us to win. And I hope that the defense can slow down that offense, and I'm going to take them to cover, and I'm going to take them to win this game. I think that this is almost a must win. I don't want to say must win because it's not really panic time, but I think this is a big time game that you got to look at winning if you're the Patriots. So they realize that is my point, and they're going to do it. So
I agree with you. All right, let's move into some of the other games. Colts at Broncos. Broncos -3. I'm taking the Broncos to win and cover. No JT. Colts have looked like garbage. I know Javonte is out, but they got Melvin Gordon. They just signed Latavius Murray. They got Mike Boone. They got Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. They got talent there. The Broncos have looked like crap too, but I'm going to trust that they're going to somehow start to figure it out at some point. Their defense is good enough to keep them in this game. If the Broncos can just put up a couple touchdowns, I think they've got a chance to win. So I'm going to take them to win and cover.
Yeah, and I mean, if Jonathan Taylor's playing this game, it's a little different in my mind, but I agree with you. I think the Broncos at home, they're coming off a pretty bad loss to the Raiders. Raiders get their first win, and they're going to have to bounce back, or they're going to get behind in that stacked AFC West division real quick. So I agree with you. I'm going to go with the Broncos covering and winning this game.
Yep. Eagles at Cardinals. So Cardinals at home on this one. And the Eagles are still favored by 5.5. I'm taking the Eagles anyways. I don't trust the Cardinals. Eagles are rolling. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders has looked good this year. Jalen Hurts has looked great this year. Their defense has been tremendous. Still no DeAndre Hopkins. Still some question marks there for the Cardinals. It's a big spread on the road. Still taking the Eagles to win and cover.
Yeah, and the Eagles got down super early last week, and they looked really good. Jalen Hurts is that guy, and this is a dang good defense, and Kyler Murray is prone to make mistakes. They still don't have DeAndre Hopkins back, so I'm going to go with the Eagles here too. I'm not trying to take your picks, but I think the Eagles are a dang good team, and this is, right now they're looking like one of the favorites in the NFC, if not the favorite. So
absolutely, I agree with you there. Bengals at Ravens. Ravens -3. This is a tough one for me. This is a toss-up. I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, I'm going Cincinnati. I think they started getting rolling. Now they had a little bit of luck last week with Tua going out, and prayers up to Tua. But I think that the Bengals, they might have started rolling here. And this is a division game. It's in Baltimore, so that's tough. But you always give, this is your famous saying, you always give the home team a 3-point spread, and this is what it is. So I think Vegas thinks this is going to be a lot closer than a 3-point spread really is. But I think the Bengals are going, and the Bengals, have the Ravens number. The Ravens have had a very, very poor secondary, and they have struggled. We saw that in the Patriots game. We've seen it against the Jets, against the Dolphins. So I think that, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase continue to terrorize defenses, and this is their next opponent. So
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say the Bengals win this one on the road. I almost said the Ravens just because I feel like they got to come back with vengeance here. They can't keep blowing these teams. But the Bengals, I just feel like they have too much talent on offense to fail against this Baltimore defense right now. So I'm going to take them to win this game. I don't know if they'll have enough to stop Lamar necessarily, but with Rashad Bateman possibly out, that's going to be a hit to them. So I'm going to take the Bengals winning. And last one, Raiders at Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 7 at home. This was the one where I said maybe, but I can't do it. Chiefs winning and covering. I'm taking them against the Raiders here.
How do we keep getting the dang Chiefs on our pick'ems? You just do this because you know I won't pick the Chiefs. You're screwing me.
No, they're always in prime time at every single game. That's what it is. I don't know what to tell you.
Give me the Raiders. They're not going to win, but they're going to cover, baby. Primetime AFC matchup right here. Give me the Raiders. Josh McDaniels.
They're
not going to win, so they'll still fire McDaniels, but they're going to cover. They're going to cover, baby.
All right. Well, that's all we got for you guys tonight. We'll be back here Sunday after the win against the Lions.
Yes. Speaking into existence.
Yep. Hopefully we'll have a lot of goods, no bads, and no injured. So that'll be the ideal situation. We'll keep you guys updated on Instagram, just with all the stuff, all the news and notes from Mac Jones, his updates, all that stuff. The link is right, or our Instagrams are right there next to our names in the boxes. Again, if you haven't already, go watch that film breakdown of Mac Jones that Jace put up. He put a lot of time into it. It's a great video, super insightful. That link is pinned in the comments of this video. And then also, like he said, Underdog. It's been really awesome. I've been using it every week. I just placed some bets this week, made like $40 on that. So it's fun. It's really fun. They're running specials all the time. They have one special right now of Jalen Hurts over half a completion or something like that, just to throw in your parlays to help out. So just use that code, deposit $10. Just try it out. I mean, what's the worst that happens? At most you lose $10, but they match your money anyways. You get $20 to use the bet. You can put more than that in, and it is a ton of fun. So
if your luck's like me, that Jalen Hurts one would be the only one you get right. But that doesn't stop me from playing.
Exactly. Bet responsibly, please. Don't go. Nobody go broke betting on Underdog. But it makes certainly some of these non-interesting games fun because you get to root for certain stuff. So that's all we got for tonight. You got anything else, Jace?
I don't. Excited.
All right.
Hopefully you see you guys back here on Sunday night, and like, subscribe, comment, and make sure you tell anyone that hasn't been or doesn't know about us to get their butts in here. And we're trying to build this community for you guys, and just a big time Patriots family right here. So excited.
Absolutely. So go Pats. Hopefully they win on Sunday against the Lions. It's going to be awesome to see those red throwbacks. We'll have plenty of pictures and stuff to post for you guys with those reds. But thank you guys for coming out tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in, watching the whole thing. For you guys who made it here, we really appreciate all the support. Go support the videos that Jace has put out, some of those things like I just mentioned, and keep showing us support. We really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Patriots Drive podcast. Follow us on social media to stay up to date with all things New England Patriots. Make sure you tune in to the next episode and check out patriotsdrive.com for more great content.
We're on to Cincinnati.